Two dudes reviewing the news, pop culture, video games, movies, and shoes. Quincy and Justin with a nerdy forecast. So stay a while and welcome to the Ugly Mugs Podcast.
Welcome to UglyMugsPodcast. I'm your host, Quincy.
And you're the host, Justin. Almost started up again. Oopsie doopsie.
It's all good. So this week for tea, we got you something a little different.
Got me something I don't like, not because of the brand, but because I don't like something that's in it.
Okay.
And it is... I forgot to mute. Oh my god, this is starting off very weird. I'm sorry!
It's all good.
It is Bigelow brand. We have had this before, but it is three of them. It is cucumber, watermelon, mint, and it is Botanicals cold water infusion.
Which is where it gets a little different because we've had Bigelow before, but
I've had Bigelow before.
Cold water infusion is a new thing.
Yeah,
you've got this whole thing about cucumbers.
I hate the smell of it. It makes me want to gag. And I'm smelling it, made me go, ooh, it's not as bad.
You know who you have that in common with?
Who?
The Undertaker.
Really?
The Undertaker's got this weird thing about cucumbers to where Paul Bearer would pull pranks on him in the locker room with cucumbers.
I can't drink that.
Okay, don't drink it. Do you think for someone that likes cucumbers it'd be good? Can't tell. All right,
I'm gonna you go ahead and pad with your coffee. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab water.
Okay. We apparently almost killed Justin tonight with cucumbers. All right. While he's gone, I decided to kick off the Halloween season with Starbucks' Fall Blend. I've had it before. I don't know if I've had it on this episode. I do remember last year's not being too impressive. There's something off about last year's Fall Blend. So this year, we got a new package. Tastes pretty good. Made a full pot of it. I got my regular cream and sugar in it. And I'm pretty happy with it. I'm gonna probably drink the whole pot tonight. Sorry if I made slurpy noises on mic. I didn't mean to. I've tried a lot of different Starbucks ones. It's getting a little hard to keep track. I'm gonna have to go through and make a list of past episodes and past flavors and stuff like that. But this one's a good one. This one can work with several different creamers, and it states that it's got spice in it. I do get that a little bit. A lot of those times I don't get those notes of the different flavors that they claim in this. It talks about having a hint of spice, which is what makes it the fall blend, and I actually get that bit here. You feel better now that you got a Pepsi?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we do have another one from that brand that doesn't have cucumber that you'll probably try next week.
I will definitely try it next week because that one actually it sounds interesting. I don't remember what it was though.
I also tried something
weird.
I also tried something off air that I won't talk about because I'm going to save it for another night. But I did try something off air because it does have something you're allergic to, and so I didn't want to drink it around you.
Almond?
Yes.
Oh, you can drink it around me. It's just don't let me drink it.
You know, didn't want to. I don't like playing chances. You know.
Forgot it's about Bigelow. Oh, it's an E. Whoops.
Yeah, it's an E.
Now cold. I'm just trying to figure out.
Try the botanical.
I was just gonna do this.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to see what the other one was offhand.
Yeah, those aren't the right things.
Cold water infusion is right there.
There we go. I got the one
citrus basil.
Yeah.
Blueberry citrus basil.
That's the one I got.
Interesting. I am interested in that one.
I'm probably gonna try both of these two off air and see what I think. Excuse me, sorry. And one of the reasons why I got the cucumber watermelon one was they were 2 for $4 at Vaughn's. But it was the fact that they were 2 for $4 at Vaughn's, and I know that Lauren loves both cucumber and watermelon. So I was like, it's one she'll finish because we have so many teas downstairs. Because you don't come over more than once a week, and you don't drink more than 1 or 2 cups when you're here. That we've just got so much tea in the house now. Coffee, we burned through it. I mean, I actually just went through and cleared out all the coffees that went stale.
I think we're just gonna start doubling up.
I mean, you could.
Yeah, instead of having more and more
I'm
new
pawn
stuff.
some on my mom.
Like you and coffee good, me and tea medium. Like I'll have 1 or 2 cups during the week.
Yeah,
but that's because I'm an energy drink whore. I'll work energy drinks more than I will anything else.
Gotcha.
All right, let's go into that.
Let's jump into this news though.
Boop.
All right.
No, not news. Movies.
Oh, movies. Yeah. My bad.
So last week we saw Arachnophobia and the Birds.
Yeah.
First one was Arachnophobia. It was pretty good. It was very entertaining.
I hate spiders. I like this movie a lot.
I hate spiders too.
I have actively chosen to watch this movie while being a person I feel has some form of arachnophobia.
It was very skin crawly. Jeff Daniels, John Goodman, everybody in this movie did really well. Fucking John Goodman just devoured the scenes he was in.
Yeah.
1990.
I love that the music changes whenever he's on set too.
The boom boom.
Yeah, it gets to like the goofy, bumbling,
bouncy music. Yeah, I get you. It's a very good one. I have no idea where to put it though. Because would I watched again? Probably not, but it's very entertaining for the one viewing that I did see. I'd probably put this at we'll say 8. We'll throw it at an 8, and that's being very fair.
I can put it in the 80s, the 90s, and the fact that I respect that it's a well-made movie. I respect the process that they went through and everything they did for the film. Mm-hmm. It does not make like a list for me of like top movies because it's, for me, do I really want to scare the crap out of myself tonight? That kind of thing. You want to talk about the ratings here though? Yeah,
the ratings are all over the place.
Weird thing where
so, IMDb is a 6.4 out of 10, Metacritic is 67, Google users respectively low for a 77, and then Rotten Tomatoes at 92.
So my bet here is going to be Metacritic probably is suffering from the fact that they don't get nearly as many legitimate critics as Rotten Tomatoes does. And then Google users at IMDb are going to be audience reviews. And so my thing is going to be, you're going to get a lot of people bitching about the fact that they don't like spiders, and for some reason thinking that deserves to affect the rating of the film. So when you go on Rotten Tomatoes, you're going to get the people that are actually looking at it as critics. I have a feeling the user rating might be, the audience rating might be a little lower.
Oh,
look at that.
54.
So I'm telling you, that's where the other ratings are coming from. It's the audiences, and I bet you anything, if we look at those bad reviews, it's gonna be a bunch of people that don't like spiders.
All right, let's go.
That's critics.
That's critics. Where do I see you for?
Further down. There you
go. Okay. While not strictly speaking as a horror comedy, Arachnophobia is a very lighthearted creature feature that scores massive points for its effects and not much else.
Where'd my coaster go? Oh, it's still on the bottom of my cup. Sorry. My coaster keeps sticking to the bottom of my cup.
We have sticky coasters.
I don't know why.
Cheeky blinders.
We gotta find some more bad ones.
I'm just gonna bring them all up and then go from.
I'm pretty sure that one I just saw right before you brought them up, if you go back, is gonna prove my point. Honestly, think it wasn't that great of a movie. I mean, there were some pretty spiders. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was gonna be someone bitching about the spiders. I thought I just saw honestly, and I thought they were gonna be like, honestly, it's, I don't like it. Goodman.
I can't be mad. I can't be mad at that one. Goodman, good. Movie, bad.
And hi to the chat, guys. Sorry, I'm a little late. Yeah, go ahead and run it by review. Let's by the ranking.
All critics?
Well, no, you're switching over to critics now.
Well, it's just all audience, but where do I bring it?
Oh shit, did they not do that on Rotten Tomatoes?
I guess not.
That's fucking useless.
That is pretty useless, but let's see. There's a
like
2 here.
Tits on a bowl.
And all right. Lack of creativity and a wider imagination, Arachnophobia is a plot-driven horror about the protagonist who has a phobia of spiders and is now cornered to not only face those fears, but stand against them in order to survive. Okay.
That's kind of creative. How is that lack creativity?
Oh, here we go. The writing is weak and cheesy with poor editing that makes it chalky and inedible around the edges. I mean, he's not... Okay, hold on. He's not wrong to that sense. It is super freaking cheesy. It's cheesy moments. But then again, I think literally 1990, I think it's the early 90s movie of it being of that sort. This guy's writing it in 2018. Of course you're going to run into the cheesy factor.
You also got to look at the fact of like a lot of what they did was practical. They were using real spiders and they didn't harm them too. They were very strict about not harming the spiders. So to sit there and say things are clunky and crap like that, I mean, I don't know if he's referring, I guess he's referring to the writing there, but he says the poor editing that makes it clunky. Like, how are you, so does the poor editing because that's all one sentence. The writing is weak and cheesy, and the poor editing.
With poor editing, that makes it chalky and inedible.
Okay, so is the editing for the writing, or is the editing for the film?
I mean, a few little edits here and there might have been a little weird to look at, but this was, as I said, 1990. This was the end of the 80s when you were doing fast movements,
Let's find another bad one.
We're finding a lot of 4 stars in this whole mix. Like, there's 2.5.
3. I don't like that we can't search by rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It's kind of show me a 1 star. I want to see a 1 star.
Show me potato salad.
You ever notice a lot of the 1 stars normally either A, don't give a review on something, or B, give a 1-sentence review.
All right, I have a 2-sentence review from a 2-star that
from
says
2 stars. So 2 stars, 2 sentences.
There we go. It paid me to watch this as I'm a big fan of throwback B-movie horror. There's no horror, and the only thing you want to throw is this movie. I mean, it's arachnophobia. It is fear of spiders. It is not. Huh?
I have a couple things to say about this.
Okay.
One, it's not a B movie. It had a $30 million budget. It had John fucking Goodman in the 90s, and Jeff Daniels in the 90s. It is not a B movie at all. You can't call it a B movie. There's nothing B. Spielberg was involved with this movie.
Oh, that's right. I mentioned that at the beginning.
Yeah.
I was like, Spielberg helped write?
Yeah.
Produce this?
Yeah.
What
Spielberg's the scene where Goodman's driving up to the farmhouse in the truck. Spielberg's on the floorboard in the passenger seat because he wanted to be. He thought it'd be fun and he looked up to Goodman and went, "We'll be the only ones that knew I was here." So yeah. Spielberg's even technically in the movie. So not a B movie. I don't agree with that statement at all. Secondly, to sit there and say B movie, you might as well toss it or whatever the fuck you said. That's not a review. Tell us why it was bad.
Yeah, if you're going to review something, if it's going to be a review, you're reviewing it. Don't review it to say it's bad. Why is it bad? It's just bad.
And the chat's saying they've seen some terrible 5 stars and some great 1 stars, and it's like there can be some great 1 stars. If it's hate spiders, don't watch this. Actually, don't watch it at all. It's crap. Is the 1-star review.
Thank you, Joey W. I hope I can delete your account. Homie, don't do spoiler. Okay, this one is a 1-star.
There we go. I was waiting for it. I told you.
It's few. It is very few and far in between. But I'm looking. I hate this movie mostly because I hate spiders.
There you go again.
The reason I hate spiders.
Oh, and that's a 2-star.
Like, come on.
I told you. I bet you anything. If we go over to the other Metacritic, IMDb, Google users, it's going to be the reasonings too.
Let's go Meta.
Yeah, we'll check Meta.
Because Meta, we can actually sort by.
You can sort on IMDb as well.
Oh, we never really looked up those on IMDb.
It's because we have to kind of sift through most of the film shit to get to it.
Okay, well,
it actually got a higher on the users, although it only got 15 user reviews.
Yeah, not a lot. It definitely achieved its purpose because I'm not a fan of spiders, but I never really thought of the film all that good. Okay, I mean
that's a little bit of a review, I guess.
I mean, and it's not like a complete 0; it's a 3.
But why? Yeah, but
so
why is it not good?
Yeah, you want more than that. I get you.
Let's see what the critics on here said. Because I saw that there was a bad review on the critics.
There's
there was 2 negatives.
All right, one is a 38. Arachnophobia wants to be Jaws or the Birds with killer spiders.
It did want to be the Birds. 100%. That was their influence was the Birds.
It isn't. The movie lacks skill to really tap into our primal fears, and the spiders are really the only things that don't seem mechanical in arachnophobia.
This is a guy that's not afraid of spiders, I bet you.
Okay.
If he's saying it doesn't tap into our primal fears, this movie hit everything that I think of when I'm thinking about spiders. I spent the rest of the night looking for spiders. You want to know the fucked up thing? There was a spider in my car the next morning.
Oh. And then the next one's just a sentence, but sometimes he gives more of it.
Rip
off of the Birds, but not as scary. It even shows the date of when they wrote
was
the articles.
So that I will respect the fact that this person's saying not as scary yada yada in the 90s because they are in the time of the film and whatnot. But this is a movie that isn't really locked into its time zone.
Oh no.
To say it's a rip off the Birds, it kind of is. They were vastly influenced by it. That's why we paired the movies.
Yep. And boom, speaking of which,
The Birds.
The very second scene is you see a man walking a couple dogs out of a pet shop, it's fucking Alfred Hitchcock. You wouldn't have like paid that much attention because you're focused on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a very jarring thing when if you don't notice it the first time, you would never know.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to respond to the chat. Eight-Legged Freaks, I saw it once, a long time ago. David Arquette. It was okay. Really big CG spiders, you know. It was
David Arquette yelling for a good half hour of that movie.
But I like David Arquette.
I do as well. He's
I
very.
want to see his new movie about becoming a wrestler.
I do too. Well, is it a documentary?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna be like, is it a movie?
Because
or a documentary?
he felt bad about what WCW did, where they made him the champion and all that shit, because they're pushing Ready to Rumble.
That's right.
Which even he told. I think at that point it was what's his name? Writer for WCW, ran WCW, not Bischoff, the other guy. Left WWE, came over. I can't think of his name, but I'm pretty sure it was that specific writer. And Arquette even told him, this is a bad idea. Like, I should not get this belt. He's like, no, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be a good angle. I wouldn't have been surprised if Bischoff had a hand in that.
Vince Russo.
Though. Oh, right. But
back to the birds. Now we watched the original. I think there was a sequel. It's a foreign sequel, and I think someone remade it at one point, but I could be wrong on the.
But I'm glad that it's showing the original here. Yeah. It is very long for what it is. It was 2 hours and some change.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow! It felt like it. It was a bit of I'm gonna call it. It's a drag, but it builds character. It builds motives. Even the last 12 minutes of them inside that house hunkered down, it felt like 12 minutes inside of a house hunkered down. A few of the story angles were a little, I don't know. It was one of those juxtapositions of, we have character development in a self-proclaimed horror story, but we're not gonna really introduce that horror element until about halfway through. Like, you get a little tease of it at a third in.
This is something Hitchcock did in his films.
Yes.
And it didn't always pay off. The birds blew people away in 63 because of the effects. They had real birds, they had mechanical birds, they CG'd birds, which was a big thing because CG wasn't a thing. And you can't really even call it CG because it wasn't even computers.
It was translucent panels that played alongside it.
So this blew people away from the effects. It blew people away at the concept of, what if this creature that we undermine on the daily just fucking turns on us one day? And pushes themselves to that point of, we'll kill ourselves to get after you. I definitely think it hit several notes very well, but you're right, it does take a long time to get to it. Once it gets to it, that's different, but getting there it's a trip. And you see it with Psycho as well, but Psycho has a different payoff. Have you seen Psycho?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I won't spoil it then. He does it with Psycho as well, where it's like there's this bump of like setting up a character and stuff like that before we get to the hotel and get to all that stuff. But the great thing is that by doing that, it causes a twist. It worked well in Psycho. It doesn't work in this because there's no payoff for getting to know this person for so long.
No, yeah, and then spoilers for something from the 60s, but
always spoilers for the movies we're talking about.
Always spoilers for that. But they just drive away, and there's no like subject matter of, well, this is what happens after, or this is their solution, or hey, there's military at the opening and closing of these areas just outside of this area before San Bernardino, California. And I was just like, that's it. That was it. Just, hey, we have military positioned outside the town.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, that does leave some holes.
I did see The Happening.
The chats mentioned The Happening. I fucking hated it. I loved parts of it, but all in all, it was crap.
It had some really good scenes, some really good tense scenes, but the flow of it felt really weird.
Yeah.
That's one of the few movies that make me not like American horror. The Mist, I haven't seen The Mist. Be Quiet was one. What was the one with the camera? The one that had the film? one that had the spoilers for the movie that I'm trying to remember the name of. The children were the killers.
The Children of the Corn?
No, the children were setting up the cameras and killing their parents.
Oh, Sinister.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That one was a good American horror. And that was 90-something? 2000-something? Early 2000s? 2012.
Yeah, that was recent.
Like, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Now, my issue with The Happening, and I'll talk about The Mist in a second. The Happening is, I feel like, a reflection of this weird thing that Shyamalan put himself into. He blew us away with the twist in Sixth Sense. Blew us away with the twist in Unbreakable. But now he became known as the twist guy.
And
so he felt he needed to do a twist every single time. And the twist kind of started to suck. The Village sucked.
Oh, the Village was terrible.
We got a decent twist in the sequel to Unbreakable.
Oh, Glass.
Glass. No, Glass is
then Split.
Glass is the third one.
Yeah,
Split. Yeah. I can't believe The Village got a sequel. I didn't know The Village had a sequel. Talking about The Mist, it's a Stephen King book. I enjoyed the movie. Hated the ending. The ending is different from the book, but King loved it so much that he said he wishes he had thought of it first. Then they turned around and made it into a TV show. I haven't watched the TV show. I don't really have much to say on the Mist past that. Yeah, chat is second guessing themselves. They're like, I thought there was a sequel to The Village. Guess not. Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, Village in the Woods.
I don't think that's the same.
But I don't think that's the same. But that looks. I love that. I love that fucking effect.
The Mist.
Yes, you have that effect. You immediately get me. So what is this from last year? Literally almost a year ago. That effect. This right here. This vignetting of nothing but like dense fog. As fake as it looks, I fucking love it. It's Silent Hill-esque. I'm there for it. But I'm curious to denote on what it's gonna. Oh, I love that too.
There's a lot of crap horror out there, though, and there's a lot of horror out there that people love that is crap. Sometimes the slasher films are better than like the psychological hoity-toity crap.
Yeah, you love your slashers.
I mean,
yeah, you're so like I think the past 3 weeks you've repped that hat and then a different.
Last week I think I wore the Friday the 13th shirt
and the hat
and then this week it's Stab, and next week will be a different horror movie.
Maybe, yeah, sure.
No, I'm doing it on purpose. It's October.
And then me, I got fucking Diablo, but then again, mine's a spooky, scary game. But. Like, if we're going with, like, the campiness, even in professionally made, Ju-on, it's so beyond itself. Like,
I don't have anything against Ju-on, but I'm saying that a lot of these, like, absolutely amazing horror movies that are out there are crap.
Oh, no, I'm boasting what you're saying.
What was,
I'm saying that
Hereditary. Everyone, I know you haven't seen it, but everyone sucks that movie's dick.
I think I've seen that one scene of the guy sipping his coffee, looks over at his wife, and he's just me. I'm like, what is? That's not a.
I don't know if that's Hereditary.
I don't know.
Hereditary is the one they're using for the joke right now, where it's like California, it's a boy, and it shows the guy on fire with Tony Collette saying they're screaming.
What's the one where they're sitting at a dinner table, they're all having a nice thing, and then the man looks over at it, or his wife looks over at him. One's looking at another.
There's a red guy behind.
Yeah, just going. Nyeh!
Okay, first of all, that scene will make you jump watching it because of the way it plays out. But it's actually when he's talking to his mother, and it's I
wasn't expecting it when I was looking at the scene.
They build it very well in the movie.
Do they?
Yeah,
I hope so.
It's
But apparently that's one of the 4 scares that are in that movie.
What the fuck is that movie? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Because it came out around the same time as Sinister. You have to look it up. Look up Phantom of the Opera, because I know the actor from that is in this. This is how my brain works.
It's fine.
The newest Phantom of the Opera, the one with
what?
I don't know what year. 2004. Yeah, there you go. So get me a cast. Patrick Wilson.
Ah, you're right. That is, yeah, okay. And then we just go into his IMDb.
Yep.
This
is how my brain works. I'm sorry.
Hey, we're in it.
Insidious.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's Insidious. It's actually not bad. I didn't watch sequels.
Okay.
Hard Candy was kind of interesting.
Isn't that the one where the girl plays kind of like bait and then the guy bites and it's a reverse horror?
Yeah. But no, so back to Hereditary. Hereditary was crap. I don't know why everyone fucking loves the movie so much. It was boring. It was crap.
I know.
And I love Toni Collette, and that movie sucked.
Who is in it?
And now it's to the point now. You're on IMDb, dude.
Oh.
And now it's to the point where it's like the guy that made Hereditary made another movie, and everyone's loving that movie. And it was Mark Wahlberg that was in that, and Zoe Deschanel. But so now the guy that made Hereditary's made another one that everyone loves, and now I think he's making a third one that everyone is just like hyping for because the last two were so great, and I'm like, Hereditary sucked ass.
Yeah, the acting wasn't too bad. Like the acting itself wasn't bad.
Oh, the acting in Hereditary is great. The script was crap.
Oh yeah.
Although there's a big here. Okay, so you're never gonna watch Hereditary because we're not gonna watch Hereditary. I know you're not gonna go watch it on your own. So spoilers Hereditary for anyone that doesn't want to hear. So Goon, Socks, I know you two are in the chat right now or in the stream right now. If you don't want to hear this, plug your ears. The big scene that everyone talks about.
Okay.
The brother goes to a party and takes his little sister with. She starts to have an allergic reaction, so he has to take her home, and she's sticking her head out the window to be able to breathe, and her head gets knocked off by a fucking telephone pole. He panics, finishes driving home, leaves her in the back seat, and goes to bed. So the next morning, Toni Collette's character finds the body and starts screaming. And we're back. Sorry,
I want to know the breakdown of how he got to that. Of I knocked that off. What?
Yeah, and this whole movie is also something about like some like evil god or something that some cult is trying to bring into the world into a vessel. Yeah. And you can see naked old people.
I like that premise. I'm just
another bad one for you. Willow Creek. It tried to be the Blair Witch movie, but about Bigfoot. So it's all found footage.
I can't be mad about that.
It's all found footage.
Okay.
And so there's a moment where the couple is sitting in their tent for about 23 minutes straight, listening to sounds outside. Uncut.
Never mind.
That one is also people like, oh, Willow Creek's fucking amazing. I'm like, no, it's not. It's okay.
With Blair Witch, they at least edited it down to where it was interesting scene, story scene.
Yeah.
Interesting scene,
story scene. Snot bubble scene, story scene.
And then guy standing in a corner. And to me, that scene right there where he's standing in the corner,
it's creepy.
It's creepy. It has its actual momentum of the daughter having to sit in the corner because she was bad.
Yeah,
and it was like
it follows the lore.
And I'm just like, that's great.
Also, remember the marketing for that movie was fucking spot on. So people went into that movie thinking this shit was real.
Yeah.
You know.
And then it kind of leads into our movies for tonight. The sequel to such.
Fucking Goon is like writing a goddamn like rap song about Hereditary in the chat.
Knocked off her head, so it's time for bed. Guess they'll find her dead. Ooh. Go ninja, go.
So
my hair's all fucked.
Tonight's movies, we're staying into the spooky scary stuff.
The spooky scary, but they can't be corny spooky scary.
Kind of.
Oh, you can't tell me Book of Shadows can't be corny.
I'm not telling you it's not.
It opens with
but Rage isn't. So what's wrong with the Cure?
I think it's a Cure. I just
either way. What's wrong with the Cure?
Nothing. I'm just saying it opens up with it being of its time.
So the concept is sequels that would have been better as standalones.
Okay.
Book of Shadows. So it's Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, which is a good movie.
Let's blow this up
on its own. It's good as a sequel to Blair Witch in the concept of it's our world. People have seen the movie and now they're flocking to the woods to see the area that it went down in. It's a good concept, but it works really well if you also just take the concept of it being a sequel out.
Okay.
Rage Rage Carry 2 is the other one. And the concept is basically carry shit going down with someone else, kind of. I can't give too much on that one because I've only seen it like once, but I remember enjoying it. But yeah, that's kind of tonight's concept is the sequels that should have been on their own. We just shifted. That was cool.
I like that. I like that a little bit better. Sorry, I was like, there's a lot of black on the sides, but I can move you to be in better frame. I'm excited for Carrie, not necessarily excited for the Blair Witch 2, because I do remember seeing either bits and pieces.
Remember, there's actually 3 Blair Witch movies now.
Yeah, I do, but I do remember seeing the opening for it because I was like, what the fuck is this weird trippy opening? Because I do remember the opening. I just don't remember who it is. It's either Korn, The Cure.
Oh, I can't remember.
Something hard, fast-paced, and very flashy, bright lights. You know, that kind of thing. I was just like,
Did you ever see Burn Notice?
A few episodes here and there.
The main actor from Burn Notice is in Book of Shadows.
Oh,
I don't know if that helps you. He's the main character in it.
Okay. I can mess with that.
I figured maybe that would help you remember whether or not you'd actually seen it. No.
No, I think it was bits and pieces.
So we've still got 2 more nights of spooky movies after this. Sadly, that means the reviews will technically come after Halloween, but you know, Thanksgiving's kind of boring until Thanksgiving Day. So
the fuck's Thanksgiving?
So let's go ahead and move on to news then.
Okay, so I'll start with what I've been playing the last whole freaking week that's been doing really amazing as far as sales go, even though it's a free to play game. Genshin Impact. Goon, myself, Socks, my whole entire Discord, which is linked in the description if you want to join that Discord, have been playing this game. Now, it's got co-op, it's got gacha elements that you technically don't even need to pay for. It's got Breath of the Wild elements, it's got cooking, it's got dailies that you can do. I see nothing wrong with this.
I did see a news article today. I didn't know what Genshin was, and so I didn't click on the news article. But I think someone for Polygon just wrote an article where they said, I didn't really like Breath of the Wild, but I can't stop playing Genshin.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably play Breath of the Wild because that just interests me. But I mean, in less than a week, you have a game making $60 million, a free-to-play game making $60 million in a week. And as Goon mentioned, or as Socks mentioned in the chat, this character here is referenced as emergency food. It's inside jokes like that.
Like we eat her?
Yeah, Paimon is not emergency food.
Okay.
Like it's a very fun game. It's got inside jokes. It's got exploration down to a T. It has light puzzles that give great rewards. It's so very varied.
So these facts are coming from Forbes. They say, oh, no, go back down.
Oh, sorry.
Right there. It's made $60 million on the mobile since its release over a week ago.
Yep.
It's the number 2 mobile game in the world behind only the well-established Honor of Kings from Tencent. Tencent's a huge company for mobile games.
Yeah, PUBG, Honor of Kings. They have like 7 other mobile games.
Yeah, they're pretty big. It's made the majority of its mobile revenue outside its home country of China, where 58% of its revenue comes from abroad. Its number 2 and 3 spending countries on mobile are Japan and the U.S. I feel like Japan and the U.S. are probably the major companies for spending on mobile at that as well in general.
But the funny thing is, this is from China.
Yeah.
Like so that's number 1. We're number 2, and Japan's number 3. Figuratively. Characters are nice. Story building's great.
Now I see the chat saying I can replay it a lot. Is it a thing that has an end? Is there a story?
There's a story. Like it starts you off. You get to choose male or female, and whichever one you choose, the other one gets pulled into this like infectious bit, and then it kind of goes. You met Paimon. You don't know how. There's like some 2-month time where you're just like, well, I don't know how. I met you, but I'm glad I met you, kind of thing. We've been traveling companions for this long. I mean, it's not far now. You got to go over here and start doing business with these shrines. Sure, it's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek shoe-in to kind of say, this is what you're doing now, but it just kind of turns around and says, you're going to be okay. This is fine. This is not going to be hard to... I don't want to say, like, hard to get you into it, but the gameplay immediately locks you in. It has great elements. Everybody has their own spiritual element. Everybody has, this gentleman here, fire, her, water, and combining both their abilities creates vaporize, which does more damage to certain types of elements. It's just, you can literally not pay a single dollar. I have yet to pay a single dollar. Do I want to? I want to support these motherfuckers. I want to throw that $5 on. Just because they're making something that's that fun.
So, but is there an end? As
of right now, yes, but they're adding on. They're continuously building.
Okay, so it's more kind of like something you would expect from console.
It's PC, PS4, and mobile.
Okay.
And I'm
because when I play mobile games, I don't play one-off things. I play something I'm going to be playing for the next year, 2 years, whatever. I play Marvel Strike Force.
Yes.
Nonstop.
Yes.
By the way, hi to you in the chat there, Liquid Ginger. You missed the talk of horror movies, so you're going to have to go back and listen to that because I know that's going to excite you.
Yeah.
Incite. Excite.
Because it's like with Goon, he plays Fate Grand Order. You play Strike Force. I play Pad. I used to play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but they kind of killed that game themselves. Oops.
EA kind of just fucked it all up.
EA's doing some weird stuff lately. There's a rumor that they're wanting to bring back Big. EA Sports Big. And they're wanting to have that be another subsidiary again.
The jingle for Big?
EA Sports Big.
Was that it? Okay.
Or EA Challenge Everything.
Yeah, I remember that. And then EA Sports is in the game. But I couldn't remember what Big's was.
I think Big was...
Big did all the goofy sports games.
Yeah, they did NFL Street.
No, it was NBA Street.
Huh?
Was it NBA Street?
They did both.
Oh, okay.
And I think they even did a soccer one. Fuck you, Goon. They did Need for Speed Underground 2. They did Def Jam Fight for New York.
Remember Def Jam? I find it weird that they did Need for Speed 2 because that just doesn't kind of fit in the realm of the other games they were doing.
Well, it was the Underground variant.
Yeah, but they were doing like the goofy games.
They were doing the goofy games. Like, hold on, let me see here. Let's bring it back up here. EA Sports Big Games. SSX3. That was the other one.
Okay, yeah. See, Pace Breaker. Yeah, it was like all like the goofy versions of sports games.
Okay, maybe they didn't do. Maybe it was just EA. Maybe it was just EA Sports then.
Yeah, see, I didn't remember Street for NFL. I remember it for NBA, but I didn't really play these.
Freestyle.
It's cool to.
I loved Freestyle. That was a good game.
It's kind of cool that they're talking about bringing it back. I mean, they've shut down so many side companies that bringing one back doesn't surprise me. It's just a question as to, is this still a market? You know? I mean, look at how many other sports games have just ended. It really comes down to like one version of each sport for the most part.
You're right, but then you also have the open and closed of it of you're never going to know unless you throw it out there. That's what they did. Let's say that's what Genshin did.
No, yeah.
They threw it out there. They said, hopefully people like it. People like it. We're doing good. We're going to keep working on it.
It makes a lot to make games.
I know, but I'm just saying also you won't know until you throw it out. Or at least give us the instinctive, like
didn't we just get a new SFX though? And that wasn't through Big.
SSX? We did, and it wasn't bad. It was just overly realistic compared to SSX3, where it was just this big, over the top. You have an avalanche going on behind you. You're doing sick ass fucking tricks. You know, it was very.
So they used the title, but they made a regular snowboarding game. Essentially,
I mean, you can still do the tricky stuff where you can pop your foot out of the fucking luck.
The important question: did they bring the DJ back?
DJ Atomica?
Yeah. Because that's really that's all that matters.
I don't think it's Atomica. I think it's I know there's another DJ that I think he's a part of it.
Just bring up the new one.
Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna bring up all of them. 2012.
To answer the chat, I vaguely remember the PlayStation Eye or the iPlay 2.
I do remember it. I just don't. I think I had it, but I never had anything for it. I got it for free. And I didn't have anything for it. I just had it. And then I remember hooking it up to my computer and it burned out the camera.
So the new one's just called SSX?
Yeah. And it was a remake. I'm just trying to remember.
I mean, like, dude.
Soundtrack. I'm looking.
What?
I'm looking.
What's the name of the DJ?
Atomica? Well, there's multiple. DJ Atomica is my favorite, just because of how.
I feel like Atomica was the only one.
No, there was a few. DJs for EA games. Oh, this is weird.
Because there was a DJ that also confirmed that one of the racing games was in the same universe as SSX because he crosses over.
Yes. But it's like, there's no way of knowing. I just want to say there's one that starts with an S.
Well, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it really isn't. But, yeah.
So SSX, I don't know if the new one did well, but I feel like if it did, maybe that's why they're talking about bringing Big back.
I mean, yeah, I don't see why not. Let's see, what did it get? Does it show ratings? It does. 5 out of 10 from Edge. Don't know them. Eurogamer gave it a 9 out of 10. G4 gave it a 4.5 out of 5, probably before G4 died out. G4 is coming back, by the way.
Yeah. They killed themselves long before they actually died out, personally.
Yeah, well, they're coming back strong. They're wanting crowd support.
Yeah, I saw the video.
IGN is 9 out of 10. OPM UK is 8 out of 10.
Yeah, but I'm wondering how it did on sales. I don't care. The ratings, you can tell me it's amazing all day long. If it didn't sell,
I mean, cult classic.
Wikipedia is probably not going to have it.
I mean, you also have to figure cult classic.
Yeah, well.
I can't say that it's...
What? I thought I saw something about a DJ. It was actually DMC. Never mind.
Yeah.
I think it's weird to bring Big back, but let's move on to something else.
Okay, doke. Let's go. Yeah, let's hit this early. Shoe news.
To answer Goon's question in the chat real quick, okay. I don't remember. I watched a lot of G4 back when it was still G4. I loved their countdowns of greatest video games from an era, greatest video games of all time. I loved when they talked about cheats and stuff like that for games, but it died for me so long ago that I don't retain any of that information anymore.
The only thing I retain from any of my history with video games is the tips and tricks book and the 5 pages that they had distinctly put for Duke Nukem 64. I can recall most of those pages because Duke Nukem 64, fucking garbage. But I remember going through that game and actually beating that one. Mm-hmm. But God, that game was so terrible. But
back to shoe news.
Back to this shoe news.
A fellow Twitcher,
as we are now on Twitch, we talked about a similar variant of Adidas Ninja shoes, but now he's getting 2 more variants, and I like them both. I like them both a lot.
They're actually not bad. I don't remember being a fan of the first shoe he released.
Yeah, the big blue streak on it and all that. It was a bit weird, but I'm glad that they're branching out, introducing more shoes. If I had a shoe, it would be Sin City colors, black, white, red.
Gotcha.
And I think with you, it would probably be black, white, red, but in Spider-Man stylistics, maybe, perhaps.
That'd be kind of cool, yeah. Something Spidey.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that our shoes would have that's way different that would be over-under as far as. Goon says, give them green and black. And I bet with socks, you would probably go pastels. There's just so much variety of our own tastes that we could try and put out there if we were, of course, shoemakers, shirt makers, what have you.
Mm-hmm. Now they did think. I think they figured it out in the chat. By the way, I think it was X Play with Adam Sessler is what they're saying, and Morgan Webb. That sounds familiar. For the G4 show,
it does.
I do remember someone from G4 is an actress now, and got to play Psylocke, I do believe, in the X-Men movies.
Oh,
and
nice.
when they first introduced her to the costume she was supposed to wear, she went, "That looks nothing like the comic." No.
I love actors that do that shit.
Yeah.
Actors that go, I want to play this. Okay, here's this new age thing. No, that's not. No.
I still wanted Hugh Jackman in yellow and blue.
Yellow black.
Yeah, the black.
Well,
but,
it's either or. They're both variants. But yes.
Yeah, he had like the blackish and with like the hints of red.
Yeah,
Also, remember that one?
it's the whole thing of fingerprints. I don't think so.
But back to this.
But back to the shoes, they look great. This nice felt looking covering.
I think I'd go with those ones over the other ones.
These ones, either or for me. I like purple. Purple's one of my top 5 favorite colors. They do look a little wide, which helps me out because I have wide feet. They go for about 140 a piece. They're called the ZX Torsion, and it's their time-in collection.
Oh, Ginger says Olivia Munn for Psylocke. Yeah, I do believe she was a G4 person for a while.
Oh, I can't do that from there.
One last thing on these shoes. They come out in just under a week.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're doing pre-orders, right?
No, it doesn't look like it. And I mean,
how much do you want to bet the website breaks?
Either the website breaks or it just sells out and nobody can buy them.
Normally,
because servers are getting better. Like, it's not like PS5 pre-order server okay, but I think for shoes, I think it'll not be as harsh. I think it'll be sold out. Sorry, can't buy it. Load that page.
But normally they still ship some to stores, so
yeah, I'm sure the Adidas stores finish. Yeah.
Now with this, kind of makes me wonder: how much do you think he actually gets from these shoes?
I'm thinking it was like I think it was just a contract bonus. That's it.
You think so?
I think it might have just been a flat rate.
Because I'm looking at the price. I'm like 140. That's not far off from when they release a regular special shoe. So to have a direct person involved, yeah, you're probably right. Probably like you design the shoe or whatnot, and you put your name on it, and you get this lump sum of cash.
Here's $500,000 straight out the door. And
I wonder if he's smart. There's something in there that if it sells well enough that they want to do a second set, he gets a bonus. Or something.
I mean, this is probably the second set. Maybe the first one did well.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, and that's why they
did this. I mean,
backup designs for if the first shoe does well enough.
Why not?
So I'm more likely to buy this set over the other one, but I don't have anything against Ninja. I'm just not a Ninja person. I don't watch his stream and stuff like that, so I wouldn't go through and actually buy these because of Ninja.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit? I hear all the memes from it, but good stuff. Let's blah that up so that way I don't go clicking anything I don't need to.
Yeah.
So fair. A little bit of something from last week that we didn't really.
Yeah, we got into a big discussion last week, and then
40 minutes we talked about it.
I wasn't gonna go and time us.
Oh, I did. I do quality control for us, bro.
It's not really quality control when the episode's already been released.
It's to make sure that the quality for future episodes, my friend.
I know.
But moving on, we talked about Resident Evil, and we were saying, well, if there's something else that's going to come out for it, well, aside from the Netflix show that's coming out, we're also getting the Resident Evil movie reboot that's already leaning in. We had no idea. I didn't know about it.
I know that basically, like, the week they dropped the trailer for the last Resident Evil movie, they also said we're looking to reboot the franchise, and that was the last I had heard. But I immediately went, wow, already talking about it? Fuck you guys. And that was the end of my thought process on future Resident Evil movies.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple things that this one has, kind of leaning in. They already have, I guess, in talks of the actors for Jill, Wesker, Birkin, and ideas for how Chris, Leon, and Barry are going. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, you guys are already getting the major players in this game.
Yeah. I will say their casting for Wesker and the Mila Jovovich ones was, I know you didn't get that far, but their casting for Wesker.
Oh no, I did see a couple of those.
He looked good.
He looked pretty good. He looked pretty great.
He pulled off the shades really well.
If you can have a pair of sunglasses, dark Ray-Bans, and your eyes can shine through them, that makes me feel better. That makes me feel so good. Because, what was it? Resident Evil 5 Into the Nightmare? Something like that? The DLC where you play as Jill and Chris.
Oh, I didn't do it.
The prequel to 5. Where Jill and Chris both go running in, and he turns around and got his fucking weird demon eyes going on. I'm just like, yeah, let's go.
So they're looking at Neil McDowell for William Birkin. For anyone that's trying to figure out who he is, he would be the actor that played Dum Dum Dugan in Captain America: The First Avenger. And then they've got Tom Hooper for Albert Wesker. I recognize the face and the name. Yeah. I don't necessarily. Yeah, I've got the list.
Where'd you look up the list?
Casting for Resident Evil reboot.
Oh, okay.
It was just there.
Okay, I looked up something else earlier and I couldn't find it. So
yeah. He's gonna bring it up for you guys right now. Because he was having troubles finding it, so I did a little bit of research on my own. Just fucking work. It may be because my tablet uses Bing for its thing. Bing had a list. Casting. Try casting because I did casting.
Oh, casting. Mm-hmm. Okay, but even whatever, that's fine.
There you
go. I'm just gonna click that. I don't care. Okay.
Oh, Black Sails. That's what he's from.
Oh.
Tom Hooper. He plays Billy Bones. Apparently, he's also in Game of Thrones, Merlin, and Northman: A Viking Saga.
Okay.
He's Luther in Umbrella Academy. I know you're not watching it, but he's the really big one with like the really weird like arms.
Okay. Yeah, I did see. I saw him in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm liking this so far. Is this gonna be?
Let me get back to my list.
Or is
my list has
this gonna be Ada?
Hold on.
I would like to see her as Ada.
Ginger says that he loved him as Billy Bones. I only watched a little bit of Black Sails. I didn't get too into it, but I know that you were a huge fan. So, if you say you played the character well, I'm gonna trust you on that.
Okay, let's see. As Claire Redfield, so Kaya is gonna be the Claire Redfield. Okay. Hannah John as
so Kaya is
Jill.
Claire Redfield. Hannah John is Jill. Robbie Amell is Chris, and Yvonne Joga is Leon. I don't have. Yeah, that's gonna be Leon.
Okay.
I don't have the actress in the top right on this list.
Okay, so Claire, Jill, Chris.
That's not who I have for Jill on this list. Either that or she looks real different from one photo to the next. Is that the same person? Because that's who I have for Jill.
Yeah, it's Jill.
Okay.
This is just oversaturated color. It seems.
Gotcha.
Bad
Okay.
flash. But okay, I like this.
Now, what concerns me is the first thing I heard about this was that the director said we're gonna go back to the horror roots of the first two games.
Yes.
Which tells me a couple of things. Either he's referring to 0 and 1 and referencing more of those horror roots, which is fine. Or he's saying 1 and 2, which tells me that he doesn't realize 3 happens during 2 because he's not actually a fan of the games. And we need a fan of the games making these, not just some random fucking person. Maybe I'm being too picky, but I'm tired of watching bad adaptations. I'm tired of the word adaptation.
And you like that argument of the people over at DC going right up to Kevin Smith saying, hey, write this, and Kevin's like, but you have...
I do and I don't, because I've always liked that. You have the comic book writers. Why aren't they writing it? And then I've watched Frank Miller write movies and go, maybe that's why. So it's this kind of weird gray spot.
Okay, but then you also have him doing, as we talked about...
Sin City, but with help. Robert Rodriguez.
With help.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get help...
Which is how the Batman movie was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Loeb. Whoops. Sorry. It was supposed to be Loeb and Ben Affleck. Affleck's written movies. Loeb's written the comics. They were collabing. And then that whole fucking thing fell apart. I think it was Loeb.
But even still, I'm here for this cast.
The cast looks pretty good. The other thing I'm tired of is, well, it's my interpretation, or it's an adaptation, or it's my story of this. And I get people want to tell their versions of these things, especially with comic books. But it's like we've never actually seen the accurate version on the big screen. Can we see the accurate version on the big screen before we turn around and give 16 different variations? Oh, she played Ghost. Okay. Before we give 16 variations of the same fucking story?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we've now had 2 versions of Hellboy. You know we're eventually going to get a third. They're never going to make Hellboy 3. They're eventually just going to reboot the franchise again. They're going to wait for everyone to forget the last fucking movie. And they're going to reboot it.
Or just reunite freaking Guillermo del Toro with Rob.
They're not going to do it.
Ron.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Rob.
Yeah, she played Ghost in Ant-Man. Now I know why I knew her face.
But even still, I'm all for this. I'm here for it just because I feel like they're going to take it a little more serious. Sure, that having them say it's going to be like 1 and 2 without the 3, I'm going to take that with a grain of salt.
Then saying it's going to be like immediately tells me, okay, and so it's not going to be 1 and 2. It's going to be your variation of the story. Or a whole new story, just these characters.
Okay. In Resident Evil 1 and 2, you get no instance of the Nemesis Project at all. Okay. You get no hearsay. Who's to say at the end of that movie, you don't see something go thunk, thunk. Stars.
That's fine. But fine. Put off the fact that he hasn't talked about 3. We'll ignore that section of it. He said it's going to go back to the horror roots of 1 and 2. He didn't say it's going to be 1 and 2.
The roots. You're right. Okay.
So he's going to try to make it horror, which is great.
The other thing is, how do you make
the unfamous brother? You're being made fun of in the chat.
Yeah.
Rob Perlman.
Rob Perlman.
He looks just like him, but he's got a really squeaky voice.
Yeah. Now, hold on. The only major instance is the first game, you go through the mansion. How do you make that entertaining? How do you not make it boring? Because you're not clicking the sticks. You're not trying to
We've seen plenty of horror movies set in mansions that are great, and plenty of bad ones, too.
Plenty of bad ones, but at the same time, you got to figure out a way to make it, spark. The very first scene you go through the main hall, go through the dining hall, and then that very first scene of the zombie with the back of his head, and you hear the crunching and the slurping, and he does that creepy turn.
Mm-hmm. Like, and then for some reason, when you come back out, there's another fucking one. That wasn't there a second ago.
Yeah, it's one of those things of, wait, that wasn't there before. Wait, that wasn't there before. And then you look over at the other place, and you're like, wait, shit.
But we've seen them do the zombie crunching on something in the dark, someone realizing it's a zombie in other movies. It's worked in other movies. Why can't it work in this?
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that's one of the major instances that you're going to have to run across. Mm-hmm. And then how do you make the rest of the movie work with that? How do you keep it entertaining? You got Barry who's, that's blood. Okay, I'm going to look here. Jill, you keep going. Like, how do you
make the dialogue better? Of course.
Oh, of course.
He better say something about a Jill sandwich if they're doing the fucking museum.
It's either
mansion.
Master of Unlocking, Jill sandwich. It's really powerful against living things.
I want Jill sandwich.
I want Jill sandwich too. The other idea is the puzzles. Like you immediately lose it all because you got Goon in the chat saying, you're trapped in a room. You got to play Moonlight Sonata super fast. You
could do that.
I guess you could.
We've seen people try to get through locked doors or puzzle doors in those moments. You're forgetting all these things that are in this game. We've seen it in other shit. It's just not under the Resident Evil name. Resident Evil's inspired plenty of filmmakers and video game makers and comic book makers, and hell, was inspired by those very things and other fucking elements before the game came out.
You were very much correct on that.
It's been done. You can't tell me that dogs haven't jumped out of somewhere and scared the shit out of someone. You can 100% do the hallway scene.
Oh yeah, that I'm anticipating. I mean, they tried doing that in the first thing with the kennel.
It was 2.
No, it was the first one.
Did they do it in the first one also? Mm-hmm. I remember they had the dogs in 2 because Jill blows them up with gas stoves.
Yeah, that too. It was in both.
Okay.
And it was in the school. I remember that one. I remember that one and that one. Yeah, they had them in both. In 1 and 2. Interesting. But
Goon saying there's a lot going on in the mansion as you're playing. That's where, when you're talking about something like Resident Evil, I want to adapt Resident Evil into a film. You have to stop and go, Resident Evil's fucking huge because it's got the canon movies, and all the games. So what you have to do, if you're going to tell the story of these characters, not the story of other people. If they said, we're going to tell the story of other fuckers stuck in this shit, fine. But you're going to tell the story of Jill, you're going to tell the story of Leon and all of them, then what you need to do is do the movie and then have fun shit for the audience to go through and watch this other thing you filmed and put up as a web series. Fucking Walking Dead did it.
Yeah.
There's a web series about the bike zombie from episode 1.
Yeah, I can fuck with that.
Where you find out how she became a zombie. Like her whole thing from when the spreading started to her being the decayed mess on the fucking grass that Brick walks up and shoots. There's ways to handle more than you can show in a 2.5 hour movie. But the other thing is, people sat down for a 3-hour fucking movie about a guy fucking snapping shit. People sat down for 3 hours of hairy foot fucking short fuckers walking to throw a ring in lava. You can't tell me people can't sit down to watch zombies get killed for 3 hours?
All right, cool it, Randall.
You know I'm right. And
You're
Ginger
right.
pointed out something also. I want to get back to that. Like what Ginger pointed out, going back to the roots of the zombies being trees. And because it's the kind of like, the zombies were kind of useless in 1. But that's kind of been fixed with the 2 remake. You know, zombies are a little bit more of a problem. I'm assuming it would be the concept of what if, 1 was made now. I still think 1 needs the reboot that 2 and 3 got.
Oh yeah, I
think they could reboot up to 4 and the side games. Don't reboot 5. 5 doesn't need a reboot. 6 doesn't need a reboot for multiple reasons, and 7's great.
7's great, and
8's probably gonna be great.
8's probably gonna be amazing.
It wasn't you that said the tree thing? There's so much talking in the. Oh, it was Socks that said the tree thing.
Yeah,
their colors are close. I saw the color.
Same. That's what I was like. Oh,
yeah, their colors are like the same in the chat. That's what got me.
It's fine. I'm here for it.
But they got good actors.
They got great actors.
So,
I like this list.
The script might suck, but the acting will be good.
I'm curious on how Leon's gonna be. I'm not against. It's just he doesn't look the part, but I'm always ready.
Goon, I'm color deficient.
And also, for us, everybody's like this different shades of green.
Yeah, you're all kind of like a weird greenish color.
It's fine, just as long as we can figure out the beginning portions of your name. It's fine. It's fine.
Look him up. I'm curious what else he's done.
I
feel he looks familiar.
He does have that familiarity.
I've seen almost everyone, if not everyone, that's on. Is he new?
Zombieland Double Tap. He was the hippie.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Shaft I haven't seen yet, but I want to.
And now Apocalypse.
Can you scroll down so I can see a little bit more? Maybe there's something in there they're not listing as his tops.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
No. Ted 2 I didn't see, and he was just uncredited role. All right, he looks familiar. Maybe I've just seen him in the news because he's done some big stuff. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe. I mean, I'm excited.
He'll definitely, be a new look for Leon. I mean, he doesn't look like Leon, but if my rule's always been, if you can emote the character, it doesn't matter if you look like the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll move on to this. This was very confusing at first.
So when I brought it up, because it's like, wait, this is in Red Hood. And
yeah.
Under the Red Hood?
Under the Red Hood.
Okay, and I was like, I'm just showing you, man. I don't know nothing on nothing.
Let's break it down real quick. Death in the Family is a comic book.
Yes.
It was them trying to decide whether or not they should get rid of Jason Todd as Robin. People weren't reacting well to him. He wasn't a Robin people wanted. Dick Grayson had moved on to do things like Teen Titans and become Nightwing. So they had this concept of Joker will kidnap Robin and then blow him up after beating him with a crowbar for a while. And we'll have people call in to vote. They call in and they press a button on their phone, 1 or 2, lives or dies. You had to pay for each vote, by the way. Yep, charged on your phone bill.
Wow.
The numbers were super fucking close. And he did get voted to die. Fun fact, my dad voted to kill him. My dad didn't like him as a Robin. And so they killed him. They had written both issues. One where the issues and the exact same of him holding Robin. And the word bubble was what was different. He's dead or he's alive, essentially. They did a movie a couple years ago called Under the Red Hood, animated film. Jensen Ackles voices Jason Todd or Red Hood. It was really good. It's on HBO Max if you want to go check it out. It's worth watching.
But
this had footage from that. But the costume was different. It was exactly the same, but the costume was different in certain scenes. And I'm blown away the whole time watching the trailer. I'm like, what the but this is not, we've already seen this. I'm like losing my shit. It's a choose your own adventure movie. Where basically you're going to decide the different shit that Robin's doing. And I think it's going to decide how he lives or dies. Now, under the Red Hood, he dies and is brought back, which is also the concept in the comic. But the comic, them bringing him back, took years. This has him coming back within like a short period of time, having been dead.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm always down for choose your own story type things. I actually might be leaning toward maybe pushing my hand into getting this, just because the way this one works, it seems to be a lot more of a. We've already subsetted 2 to 3 stories, and once you choose the path, we've already wrote it out, we've already got it all storyboarded, we already got the animators doing it, it's already done, because you got to figure, you already saw the scenes from Under a Red Hood, the actual, but what if? It is basically an edition of what if, and of course it comes in a steelbook, so
which is nice, and it's Blu-ray.
It's a Blu-ray. Oh, so it looks nice. I'm
Goon's
not
asking if they've done interactive things before. He feels like he remembers them and they're not working.
Fucking Goosebumps.
Goosebumps did interactive?
They did too.
Okay, I know that I've seen interactive DVD games and stuff like that in the past. Final Destination 3 or something like that, Ginger says. I kind of remember that with 3, I think. I think it was actually 2, though. Isn't that the one with the spider on her bed? I think that one did it. But what you gotta consider is technologies, 1 has gotten better. 2, Blu-rays are phenomenal. And 3, this is a story you can actually get into that concept. But the other thing is, we've seen this actually work over on Netflix with
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror's, what was it? I don't remember. Black Mirror did a thing where it was this interactive adventure, and it fucking worked.
Oh yeah, I loved it. It was great. It gave me chills. It was so good.
I didn't do it.
Oh.
I'll eventually do it.
Oh yeah.
My watch list, right now I'm burning through Supernatural because that ends in November for good, and so I've got to get caught up.
Okay.
But this is kind of cool. Do we have a release date on this? I'm probably gonna get this.
It says only in. Let's back it up a little bit.
Available only on interactive is only available on Blu-ray, which makes sense. It might be a bit much for a digital thing.
There's no date.
Also available on digital, but only the interactive is
in fall 2020. It doesn't really give us a date, but soon.
All right. Well, kind of thank you, IGN. You had most of the information we wanted.
Most of the information we wanted.
Yes, Goon. It was supposed to end a while ago, but they couldn't finish filming the season. November, like the second week of November, I think, is when the final episode will air. It came back last week, I think.
Okay. So, that was funny. I
gotta start bringing a pot up here because I'm out of coffee now.
Yeah.
I've got that craft, so.
So, right now, on Twitch, alongside of us, you could probably watch a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access gameplay.
There's some people out there playing it.
Huh?
I said there's some people out there playing it.
There's a lot of 28,000 people were watching it, so good. I'm glad that it's being noticed. It plays off of 5e rules. It has the dice rolling. It feels so comfortable. There's an attachment onto Twitch that allows you to see what a person, like if I popped into someone's chat or someone's channel, I can see what their character has, what their class is, what their stats are, that kind of thing. I'm like, that makes me feel really comfortable. It looks pretty. It looks great. The Divinity engine, it looks top notch. Has everything in a nice, beautiful sheen. I have zero problems with this game. The only thing is, you can only go so far in Act 1 before they're like, sorry, you gotta wait for the next part.
It is early access.
It is very early access. Some tells me this is going to be another year before the game is actually released.
You really think so?
I think so.
Or do you think they'll release it in bits?
I would sincerely hope not. I mean, I have to wait until the whole thing's out.
We've seen episodic games work before. I wouldn't put it past them thinking to release this as it's ready. Not saying, I'm 100% not saying that's what they're doing. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if them or another company did that with a game.
You're right. Okay, I mean, I have no problem with that. I really don't. I would wait until a little bit more. Oh my god, brain puppies! I love brain puppies. They're the greatest.
What are you talking about in the chat there? Crowd control D&D should be a thing. Do you know what he means?
Like, are we talking mass suggestion?
He'll get back to us in a second.
Yeah, I suppose. But even still, I watched a little bit of gameplay. Looks good. It looks like
it does look. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And the chat also points out that, remember, the Final Fantasy remake is episodic and isn't working. You're right. But I feel like that's because that's such an established thing already. You already know all that story. There's nothing to keep you going off of the episodic. What's happening next? Because you already know what the fuck happens in Final Fantasy VII. When it's something new.
Well, Goon says it is working, and it is.
Oh,
it is working.
It is working. Okay, I'm sorry, I misread that one.
It's fine. But what I think he's angling toward is it's selling. It is making its money and then some. And I mean, for someone who, let's say, I played Final Fantasy VII original and you played the remake, and you're like, oh, this is nice, but this. And I'm just like, yeah, it's just like the original. And you're like, oh, the original, and you go back and play it, and you're just like, this is slow. I don't like its turn-based combat. I don't like this. Then I go over and play the remake, and I'm like, oh, this is very fast, and et cetera, et cetera. It's a feeling. Now, I like the new combat in Final Fantasy VII. I would rather play the new Final Fantasy VII remake type of combat. The only downside is it's not all out yet.
Gotcha. Goon's explaining. Crowd control is a Twitch extension which the people pay bits, donations, etc. to cause actions to happen on game. Like cause a character to lose health or move a certain way. Yeah, I've heard about that on certain things. I didn't know that's what it was called.
Okay.
I always thought it'd be really cool, and I think they may have played with it a little bit before Mixer died. The concept of being the chat can spawn mods in Minecraft, I think, was a thing for a brief second.
Okay.
Or somebody was playing with. That's cool. What if you were doing a D&D session, and if people paid enough bits, they could make an NPC appear and do something?
That would be interesting. I would be down for that. I would have
like you're doing a D&D session, and all of a sudden, someone in the chat pays enough bits and
$50 worth of bits. And
so it's like a fucking
Shea Gorath pops in. Cheese for everyone.
Or like maybe not a beholder because that's a bit of that's a bit fucked up.
That's what Goon meant.
Okay.
So Goon had the original idea, but you you stretched it out.
Okay, that would be cool. Like you're seeing, you're sitting there, and all of a sudden a beholder would suck because it's such a high thing. But you're like, a fucking beholder shows up. He doesn't attack you. He moons you and then floats away. And now your party's like, fuck that guy, and goes after him. That'd be kind of,
yeah,
it'd be like a fun thing.
Have advantages. Add a +5, add a -5. I mean, I could see a whole lot of things being really good.
Sox has said that the villager thing, that she's actually seen it with Minecraft where people have spawned 200 plus villagers on top of people. That's hilarious.
That's great.
And it's a great way for the streamer to make money too.
To make money and also include their community into the thing. The only downside is a little bit of abuse could be potential, so the numbers would have to be high to hit that. So people would have to pay that $50 if you want that to actually happen. Because if it's every like $5 something happens,
it could be like $5 for little things, like $5 like
you get a potion of healing,
or your potion of healing is actually lesser, or something. Ginger also points out Dum Dice kind of does that with their patrons. I do listen to a couple of their podcasts, and so I have heard what they do. It's kind of similar, but theirs is a little less game effecty.
Yeah. Yeah. I just finished up with not another D&D podcast's summer little mini series, I'll call it, and it was a good one. It's very fun. It's very much a DM says what's going on, and then all of a sudden one of the players goes, well, it's this, and then it becomes canon. Mm-hmm. It's one of those, they spitball off of each other and just improv a big scene. Like you get a poison cloud around you. Oh, did you beef? And then you come to find out, yeah, I beefed. It was like, oh,
They're talking that communities tend to try to break streamers' PCs by pushing what they can handle on screen at once and stuff like that, which is kind of fucked up.
I don't spoil that pod. I recommend the finishing of the summer one, very good. It felt very good. Emily Expert knows how to write, and I'm happy about that.
The other thing they're also saying is that there's been like killing a character for 500 bits, and then it increases to 1,000, then 1,500. There's a streamer I watch every now and then. He plays Elite Dangerous. He goes by Crispy Tater Tot. Nice, fun guy. He's got different things. It's not spending bits, but it's points you earn from being active in his stream and watching his stream that you earn over a certain time and can cash in. And so he's got one that you can make him self-destruct his ship if you reach that high enough. But you have to like watch his stream for like months to be able to get to those points. But yeah, you can make him self-destruct his ship.
Mother fricker.
Right. Let's get back to the news now, though. This was one that Lauren didn't believe you on, and she's not really feeling it, but I'm pretty excited.
I'm behind it. So the new character for Mortal Kombat 11 is Rambo.
Yeah, but you have RoboCop up.
I did, because it fucking bubbles up and changes the fucking area. Like,
this is why I said images.
Yeah, this is why you did say images.
Yeah, they're bringing in Rain, Melina, and Rambo. I'm not. Maybe they'll do some missions for it. Spoilers: Melina's been dead since 10, so kind of weird that she's here. It is Stallone voicing him, and I am honestly excited for this. But it doesn't come with just these 3 characters. Apparently, new purchasers and already owners of the ultimate version of Mortal Kombat 11, which is how you get this combat pack, will get the upgrade to Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5.
That's, yeah. And it boggles my mind that you have to say that in order to be the one who does it. It's just, things should do that. There should be no, I have to mention it. No, it should do that. But no, apparently some developers right now are being huge sticklers, and I won't go into it. Not today anyways. But there is a lot of negative about, hey, should our game go into the next gen? No. I'm looking over at you, Sony.
To answer a couple questions in the chat, Liquid Ginger, what hack guy? Once you get back to me, I'll get back to you. Goon, Rambo is not the one that shoots the chicken. That's Hot Shots, I think. 2?
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, it's Charlie Sheen and Hot Shots. 1 or 2. I think it's part 2.
I never saw part 2.
Then maybe it's 1. It's a spoof movie. It's not actually Rambo. No, there will not be anybody shooting a chicken gun.
Or you got
Tater Tot is the hack guy. Crispy Tater Tot is the hack guy. Liquid Ginger.
And then you got the fucking UHF with Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, and wearing the buff suit. That was funny. Good. Oh shit, you're right.
And he pulls up the fucking bow and arrow.
While we're on the subject of Rambo, I started watching the newest Rambo, and whoever edited that movie should be fired.
Okay.
It is edited.
The latest one.
The newest one, yeah.
The one where he's back home.
Yeah, it's on either Prime or HBO Max. I think it's on Prime.
Oh, look at that face. Look at those cheeks.
Whoever edited it should be fired because it's very much, everything is cut. Like he was like, well, they might use this for a trailer, and they might use this for a trailer, and they might use this for a trailer.
You do that last.
Everything is cut like there were bits for trailers. It is fucking terrible editing.
And Rain is one of my favorite characters out of Mortal
fun.
Kombat. I've enjoyed him just because he's Noob Saibot, but instead of Shadow, he got Wada. That's pretty much the best way to really tell him.
Rain is Rain Raiden's brother, or is that the other guy? I think that's the other guy.
I think it's the other guy. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know. It's just I think it's the other person that I think you're thinking of.
Yeah, I think it is.
The other
whoever was part of the new expansion to the story, that's Raiden's brother.
And then you have Cyrax, who was Scorpion's younger brother before he died, and then became the robot.
No.
No?
No. Scorpion's family, their tribes killed off by the original Sub-Zero, who then dies and by the hand of Scorpion, and then you've got the new Sub-Zero that is the younger brother of the original Sub-Zero.
Okay, which of the robots was the one that was from his tribe then? None of them? Smoke?
No, Smoke doesn't become a robot.
Oh. Cyrax?
Cyrax might have been from his tribe, but they weren't related.
Okay.
But then I think what you're thinking of is the original Sub-Zero dies and he becomes Noob Saibot.
I like the story.
Quan
I
Chi
just don't
makes
know
him
if I
Noob
can
Saibot.
dig back into it, man. Everyone
The
dies
problem
and then
is-
everyone lives and then time warp and then Raiden tells himself to not
Raiden.
do that. Whatever, man. Raiden tells himself not to do that one thing, but he does that one thing, so you don't know if it's true or not. And then it's like, well, I guess I'll have to believe myself.
What? I think you're not even remembering it right in your moments of I'm confused. Everything happens.
Doesn't Raiden go back and tell himself?
Everything happens all the way up to 9. They lose at the beginning of 9, and so he sends a message to himself, but he can only do it in fragments of images.
Oh.
So at first Raiden doesn't know what to think of it, and is kind of playing it the wrong way, and then kind of gets it the right way to where they win, but a lot of good guys die.
Okay.
And then 10 happens, and 10's crap. And then 11 happens, and 11 kind of goes through and fixes the time shit because you're fighting the time god.
And then you have the DLC. That
The
kind of
DLC
cleans it
that
up.
is kind of the shit that's going on while 11's going on.
Okay. Okay. That makes a little more sense. Boop. I like doing that, where I can click that away, so that way I don't go spoiling nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, that'll let me talk about 2 things. So.
Yeah. Dude.
So, Disney's new Pixar movie, Soul, has been pushed back. Sadly, it's not the only thing pushed back. We're also having Wonder Woman pushed back, and we're having Dune pushed back. Both those were set to release in December. Soul was set to release in November. Their pushback comes because of a, I don't know if I want to call it rash decision. I understand why they feel it's the right decision. I just don't think it is.
It's a wrong decision, but in a way that's fair because
Well, the way they handled it definitely wasn't fair.
oh no.
So the owner of Cineworld decided, which is basically Regal but in Europe,
Cinnamon World.
decided to close all theaters, and therefore also decided to close all Regals in the U.S. Until unknown later date. The reason for this being is, with No Time to Die, the new James Bond film was supposed to release in November. It has now officially been pushed back to Easter weekend. And that was the movie they were hoping to make back the fact that they have lost over $1 billion this year from all the closures. This kind of tells me they have no faith in Warner Brothers or Disney to make them money. They were really just hoping for one fucking movie to make them back everything they've lost for the year. Where it gets fucked up is employees were not told they were going to be losing all their jobs. Today is the day the theaters close. In fact, employees only found out because of a early printing of the Sunday Times in London that talked about it.
That's not good.
Nope.
That's not good at all. Wow.
So, to answer the question going on in the chat, it's a bad decision in the fact that you've put people out of their jobs. You could have made money still. You've now fucked up other things for other people. But I understand losing $1 billion is a big deal.
I mean, yeah. Shit. But on the subsidiary note of where we're starting, Soul is going to premiere on December 25th.
Yeah, so
on Disney Plus.
December 25th on Disney Plus. It did not state whether or not it's going to be like Mulan was, where you have to pay like $30 to unlock it or whatnot, but it will get to premiere there. I haven't looked too much into Soul. I know it's the new Pixar one. It'll probably make everyone cry.
Jamie Foxx.
Is it Jamie Foxx?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't looked too much into it.
And a couple other really good actors are a part of it. I'm here for that movie. Like, if
You like Pixar a lot, though.
I fucking love Pixar. I don't think there's ever been a bad Pixar movie. I've yet to run into one.
Well, I didn't see Cars 2 or Planes, so I can't cite those.
Cars 2, pretty good. Cars 3, all right. I mean, it's very much a cash grab, but at the same time, it's an entertaining cash grab. Planes I did not see also, so I got nothing on that.
Didn't see Toy Story 3 or 4.
Oh, beautiful movies. Let's take a peek.
I wanted to see Onward, and that's when the theaters shut down. I still haven't sat down and watched that.
A very good movie. Very good movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Good Dinosaur. I haven't seen Inside Out. I haven't seen
Coco. Still makes me cry.
There's a lot. For the most part, the new Pixar stuff I haven't seen.
Incredibles 2.
I haven't seen Incredibles 2.
I liked it. Lava, good. Cars 3, okay.
Moana wasn't Pixar, right?
No, it was just straight Disney.
I haven't seen Finding Dory. I haven't seen Brave. I haven't seen Monsters University.
I haven't seen Finding Dory.
I have seen Up.
I have seen Up also. I have seen Brave, Monsters University, Bernie.
I think it's a
short.
Yeah, it's a short for Disney Plus.
Neat.
It's about a robot in the Wall-E world.
Wow, and then
because they do a lot of shorts.
They do a lot of shorts,
especially now with Disney Plus being a thing. You know, they can slap together shorts. Ratatouille, I've seen.
Okay,
I've seen
say at least you've seen Ratatouille.
I've got Ratatouille on DVD actually.
Like, I have no problem with any
that
of
was
these
probably
movies.
roughly around my cutoff was Ratatouille and Wall-E. I only recently saw Up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've seen the original Cars and Monsters Inc. and all those. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's Bugs Life is probably the low end. I'm not a big fan of Bugs Life.
I like Bugs Life. I have it on VHS somewhere. Incredibles was good. Yeah. You know, Steve Jobs actually originally started Pixar. He was part of like the group that started it. Pixar was not originally a Disney company. They bought it later on. It's not something they started, but they bought it and kind of turned it into what it is. I'll let you talk about this because I know how much you like a good boy.
I love a good boy. So, in Ghost of Tsushima, you can now pet the dogs as well as recruit them to fight alongside you. I do remember hearing about this game. As soon as it released, it kind of went over my head.
I hear a lot of good about it, though.
I hear a lot of good about it, too, but it just...
My friend Piper's been playing it a lot.
Because what is it, Sucker Punch? Yeah, Sucker Punch.
Some of you probably remember. He was on an episode, I think, last year.
20?
Something like that, yeah.
Probably look it up.
For his band and whatnot. He talks a lot about this game. He really enjoys
it.
He's one of those players that he's kind of like me, where it's like he plays his Xbox, he plays his PlayStation, and he has a game PC and I don't. But so he kind of hits all the notes, and this is one that kind of sucked him out of playing on different stuff for a bit because he went into this.
Gotcha. I mean, I remember there was a meme thing where it was the dun 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 dun, and with every note it was him getting hit by an arrow from a different direction, and I was just like, God, that's gotta suck. But that was very entertaining. Thank you. I just saw the picture again. Back on track though. You can now recruit dogs. Like they're updating these games to be better than they already are, and I love that. So
you can pet dogs and you can recruit dogs, and those are immediately things that make me go, I want to play that game.
I'm gonna play that game. I'm gonna put the dog. Now, what I'm laughing about is this image right here
for Cyberpunk 2077.
He's looking in the mirror, and when you were typing up your thing and showing me this, I caught a glimpse of that, and I thought these two things here on the sides were these the back scratchers, and it looked like he was going like this with them and rubbing the sides of his face with them, and I'm just like, why is he doing that? And I was like, oh, that's his jacket. I would rather them being back scratchers. And confirm, thanks to Goon, you cannot yet pet the dogs. You can talk to the dogs, but you cannot pet the dogs in Genshin Impact. Hopefully soon.
Socks also points out that they're supposed to be bringing multiplayer and New Game Plus in the future for this as well.
Good.
Ghost of how do you say it again?
Tsushima.
I get the first part because I get that the T is silent. It's the Ima at the end that I fuck up.
Yeah.
Because I get the sh as well. Also, Liquid Ginger pointed out in the chat, Disney Pixar sounds way better than Apple Pixar. You're right. It wouldn't have been owned by Apple. It was Steve on his own, not connected with Apple. But you're definitely right there. Yes, he's gonna pet the dog.
He's gonna pet the dog.
And he's petting the dog.
Get a load of that dog.
I love that.
And you can even pet the spirit dogs.
Really? Aw. He's a good ghost dog.
Was I a good boy?
That's great.
No, you were the best.
I like that. This is definitely a way to increase your player base too.
Oh yeah, oopsie doopsie.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Archie Comics. Everybody likes Archie, right?
I've only read 2 things.
Have you read Archie versus the Predator?
Not Archie versus Archie and the Predator.
Or sorry, Archie and the Predator.
Where Archie goes to
some island.
It's Sadie Hawkins dance. It's a dance.
Oh yeah,
and the Punisher is the
not the Punisher.
Huh?
Are you talking? Oh wait, you're talking Punisher.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm talking Predator. That's what I meant.
Oh.
You talk about Punisher, yeah.
Yeah,
my
the
bad.
Punisher was the entourage, the escort, and it just bubbled out so much. And he was like, "There's someone here who's not like they say they are," and it was one of those Scooby-Doo-esque.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. It was good.
I was talking Predator, Archie and the
didn't.
Predator, Archie versus the Predator, which is actually a lot of fun too.
That I didn't hear.
But the reason why Archie is on our list today, did I not write it down?
Do I need to find it?
Yeah, I didn't write it down. Oh no, here it is. I did write it down.
Okay.
So, Archie Comics, which I think Archie's one of those things that can speak to everyone in any form. And you have to thank it for a lot of things. Archie's where Josie and the Pussycats comes from. Archie is where Sabrina the Teenage Witch comes from.
Gem?
And Gem and the Holograms, no.
Okay. I was just curious.
But Archie's kind of one of those things where it's like it can hit on different notes for everyone. But Archie Comics is now partnered with Webtoons for a new online comic. Webtoons launched about 6 years ago and has very quickly taken over as one of the number one places for digital comics. I don't think they're going to be pulling anything from any of the other spots, but they did definitely come out and say that they are going to be doing original comics over there.
Okay.
I think it's great because it's a comic book that can deal with real life problems for people.
Yeah.
You know?
And have Jughead try and eat 50 hamburgers.
Yeah, and his dog's name's Hot Dog.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think we talked about it before, but someone asked me if I was a Betty or a Veronica person, and I said neither. Jughead.
But
no, Jabberjaw was Hanna-Barbera. The chat was asking me about Jabberjaw.
Ah.
Speed Buggy, Jabberjaw, all those kind of came
Huckleberry
from
Hound.
Huckleberry Hands before that.
Oh.
But Funky Phantom, all those came out of the concept of Scooby-Doo was working and Josie and the Pussycats worked in Archie and being brought over to cartoon form. And so you got all those different Hanna-Barbera mystery groups with their weird sidekick animal, talking car, those things. Everyone had basically a Shaggy knockoff. Everyone had basically a Fred knockoff. To the point of Speed Buggies looked like fucking Shaggy with a sweatband on. He was fucking Shaggy. The chat kind of went nuts a little bit if you want to go back. I may have missed something. I was trying to keep up with it.
All dogs
go to heaven. Snoop Dogg. Okay. Let's see. What's next?
Selling point for me, if I can pet the dog, he is automatically higher on my list. Yeah. If you can
pet
interact
the
with
dog.
animals in a peaceful manner, it seems to do that. Wacky Races.
Wacky Races was the combination of all of them, actually. I love Wacky Races. There's
Stanley Whiplash.
Dick Dastardly.
Pete Pitstop.
Penelope Pitstop.
Penelope Pitstop.
Fun thing, I don't know if anyone remembers, but DC
Yeah.
Comics did the Scooby-Doo Apocalypse comic a while back, which was really cool.
Yeah, I saw an advertisement way back when on Tumblr where it's Daphne fucking sitting up on this high tower with a fucking pistol in one hand. I'm just like, where the fuck did Scooby-Doo go?
It's great. But for doing that, they did a Wacky Races that was basically Mad Max. Yeah.
I can fuck with that.
That whole run of them making the crazy, not necessarily dark, but the extreme version of, because Wacky Races essentially was Cannonball Run for kids or Mad Max for kids or something like that, and Scooby-Doo was the mystery solving thing for kids. They did this amazing run on several comics. They even did a Flintstone one that was more serious and stuff like that. DC did some fun stuff for a little bit there a couple of years ago.
And speaking of fun stuff, we got another collaboration.
Oh, this is gonna blow someone's mind here in the chat. Maybe two someone's.
It kind of snuck up on me because I didn't even know.
I think I still have up the exact information for this too.
Okay. But in short, Magic the Gathering and Walking Dead make a collaboration thanks to the Secret Lair. I already got a look at Rick and Daryl. And so far, those 2 cards are really great. They would be very good boosts for soldier white blue decks. They seem to have a nice. I mean, even Glenn is a white blue push, and he's got Skull, which can't be blocked. So
I want to give credit because whoever's doing this video is doing amazing about explaining the cards. Because I don't, Day9 TV, I don't know Magic, and this guy explained it in a way that I was understanding these cards.
Yeah.
Now let me give you the full run on what we got here. So they're going to be foil, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So 1 foil art Daryl, Hunter of Walkers. 1 foil art Glenn, the voice of Calm. 1 foil art Michonne, Ruthless Survivor. 1 foil art Negan, the Cold Blooded. 1 foil art Rick, the Steadfast Leader. 5 different foil Walker tokens and 1 foil treasure token, and it's in an amazing box. And what this guy featured also is the protective shit came off real nice without fucking everything up.
Yeah, it's one of those one of those grabby machines, but it envelops. That's the best way to really put it, because it has like 4 folds on the back, so that way you're not having to fiddle with it. It just makes sure that all the cards are in there, and it's sealed on the back. He popped off the seal and just carefully lifted them out. It was so nice.
They're also doing something with this that I give a lot of respect to.
What's that?
Magic the Gathering Online redemption code. 1 single-use code for 1 copy of each of the cards for the Secret Lair across Walking Dead. So if you have the online thing, once you buy the set, you can also move your cards to the online battles, not just having them in your physical collection.
That's nice.
It runs at $49.99, and they're doing pre-orders now.
Yeah. And at the very bottom, all of these are technically zombies. It may say Walker at the top, but they can be interchanged for zombie tokens. Each one has a quote at the bottom, such as on the bottom of the one that's crawling, "I'm sorry this happened to you, Rick Grimes." And then there's one further on that Daryl.
That was the bike one I was talking about.
Yeah. Glenn says, "I'm going to try to set a fire and distract them." Glenn Race. Or Glenn Reed? I forget his last name.
I don't know.
But even still, all of them look nice. There's a couple treasures and all that in there. It doesn't seem to have much as far as not like full artifacts.
If I knew we were going to talk about this, because this was a last minute thing that we talked about this tonight.
Right.
If I had known that this was going to be on tonight, I would have worn my Negan shirt. But it's all right.
We aren't using the Zedwood.
Yeah, we don't use the Zedwood.
We never use Zedwood. Kill the Queen.
Let's go ahead and I got
the jukebox.
I got something quick I can hit that doesn't have an image. We both played a little bit of For Honor, right?
A little bit.
We didn't really get far into it, but I know that a lot of people still like it.
I like the Berserker.
For those people, For Honor's confirmed some nice things. It is getting next gen capability. It is doing inventory transfer, which is a big deal. And they're saying 60 frames per second support is coming in December. So not that far off.
Not that far off, but it took its sweet time, because when I was playing on PC, I was getting 60, but then when I downloaded it on console, it had moments where I was just like, it's kind of like the Black Ops thing, where at the very beginning of the map it runs like garbage, but as soon as you're in, you're fine. I don't like that. For Honor, we were talking about For Honor.
Yeah, just a quick thing. We didn't have really much to say on it. It's just that it's getting the next gen console stuff. They're going to allow inventory transfer and 60 frames come December. Go ahead.
So I showed Quincey something, and he didn't take it well, because it's very... He's in okay with it. If it has its old form. Worms Rumble is coming out soon, and what it is it's a multiplayer shoot 'em up 2D with 3D aspect, 2.5D aspects. It seems to be one of those where a twin stick shooter, you control what direction you're pointing it in, and you pull the trigger, grab guns, pick them up as you would in a Worms game, but it's not turn-based anymore. Now, he said he'll buy it if it has a turn-based, because it does look good. It doesn't look very unrelenting.
I have been a Worms fan since Armageddon. I'd double check the name, but
Okay.
Armageddon, which I do believe is technically the second Worms game to release and it was on PC.
Yeah.
I have played not great incarnations since then, great incarnations since then, but I
WMD
pretty much
is a good one.
WMD it's okay.
Okay.
It's for what it is. It's not bad. I wouldn't pay a lot for it. I didn't pay a lot for it. But it's enjoyable. I've probably got the entire Worm franchise from the first game to now between my Steam and console. I'm not going to buy this unless it has the turn-based. I don't care to play another fucking Battle Royale game. Putting it in Worms does not do anything for me.
And what he said is true. This is going to have a Battle Royale variant.
That's what we're looking at right now. This
is the death match.
Okay, well, sorry, this is the death match.
But
the Battle Royale is probably going to be the same thing, but the map's syncing. Because that's really the only way I can see them doing a Battle Royale is, like, instead of the cloud, it's going to be the map syncing.
Yeah. I like that. I would like that. But the maps look nice. Everything looks like it's fine.
Is that stuttering that keeps happening because of the video, or is that the game?
I'm thinking it's the game.
Because it was stuttering real bad for a second.
This is also an early look.
Oh, it's him getting hit.
Oh.
It's to show his damage. The screen turns red and kind of stutters when he's getting hit. I don't like that.
Oh. Yeah, I don't like that either. But even still, it's early. Things can be changed. Things can be fixed.
I did find it weird that the worms were like glossy.
Yeah, they're a little shiny. Yeah. But speaking of breaking things down and having to look at them, Sony broke down in an IGN / their own personal thing. They broke down the PS5 and opened it up and showed us what was in it. And what we found was some pretty interesting technology. I'm not going to take away from Sony and what they're putting together. The only downside is you have to do a lot if you want to add more memory to it, which is not great.
It always kind of bothered me with PlayStation 4 with the whole, what, plug in an external? No. Here's this thing that you have to, like, insert into your console. Fuck off. I don't want to open anything and do anything to it because y'all are so fucking touchy on your goddamn warranties with things.
Yes.
It's not a fucking PC. I'm not here to build it. I bought a console because it's supposed to be built.
Yes. Now, don't get me wrong. You can still do the external.
You can.
But
they were pushing for the increasing the internal on the PlayStation.
That is correct. They also have the MMIE slot, so that way you can plug in these very fast fucking chips that read amazingly. The only downside is they're quite expensive. Well, no, they're getting better.
Okay. Solid state or the MM?
MM.
Okay. Which one's cheaper?
Solid. Well, right now, MM's starting to get a little bit.
Okay. Do they come in terabyte?
Let's take a peek. Let's go ahead and.
Yeah. Also, is it going to be as nice and compact and what's the word? Sleek as doing that special card in the back of your Xbox?
They're thin, they're nice, they're easy to attach. All you do is plug it in and screw in a little screw. It's nothing really out of the other. Solid state. I think I spelled it in there wrong.
Okay, but we're back to installing something now.
Yeah. Okay.
You know. Oh, sorry, that was probably loud.
That was probably very loud, but it's
my
fine.
bad.
Good news, the board will fix that. So for a 500 gigabyte, you're paying $90, and that's on sale.
Okay.
So the read and write, however, are ridiculous.
So we're at about 200 if I want a full terabyte, most likely. Oh, there's terabyte right there. You just click on that for me. 221. So it's about the same price.
About the same price. Well, what's a 2?
Okay. So it's about the same price as if I was going solid state.
But here's the other thing is the read write on that. Mm-hmm. You will never have a stutter in your game, guaranteed.
Okay. Well, now
that's my push.
here's the thing though.
Yes.
So I'll never have a stutter in my game. You're saying because in theory, I don't know how PlayStation 5 is doing it, but with the Xbox, the solid state is only doing the game. It's not doing your save files. Your save files are still going to the cloud.
I think maybe
so it's running the game off the solid state.
Worst cases, it'll have a 4 millisecond jitter of it saving. I don't think
which I don't care about either way. So.
Yeah,
but I don't want to install something though.
This is Sony's thing. Like with Xbox, there is going to be those chips, but you literally just pull off the back panel, pop it in, and it's interchangeable in case you say this one's full. I have more games I need to. Oh, I could just put in a new one.
Yeah, it's essentially bring memory cards back, but bigger.
But bigger, much bigger, because they're going to be a terabyte, and this is just to start. They could build better. Like, they could pop in.
Actually, a memory card's not even a good example because it's not your save files. Your save files are in the cloud. You always have access to your save files. This is the game.
Game data.
This is replacing you having to put a disk in every time. You load it up with how many games can you fit on a terabyte?
Depending on the game. I mean, we'll say for a terabyte, we'll say 20 games.
Let's be honest. With the way the sizing works on the games on Game Pass, the majority of Game Pass can probably fit
on
like a 2 terabyte to 3 terabyte.
If
you take out Halo, if you take out Arc, Halo, things like that. Hell, I just downloaded Brutal Legends last night. It was like 6 gigs.
Well, yeah, but then again, that's just a solid rerun. We'll say for the sake of benefit, 4.
4? Okay.
4.
I mean, have all 4 games then.
Yeah, there you go. Like, it's not going to be that bad. And, I mean...
Red Dead 2's not even on Game Pass anymore, dude.
Yeah, that sucks.
I bought digital.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it was only on there for a month.
That's Rockstar.
I know.
That's not Xbox at all.
But, I mean, even still, this is what you're going to have to do for Sony.
I don't want to install things.
Yeah, this is... I get it.
At that point...
Why?
At this point, if I'm spending $200 to install chips in it, I might as well have a PC.
Fair enough. And this thing can run your operating system, so everything will run faster. So... Because I had one.
I understand what you're saying. At 12 Red Dead 2s, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But what was the other thing? The heatsink was the other thing you wanted to talk about on the PlayStation 5.
So from the top to the bottom, it's about 11 inches, and from about the very top to about the very bottom was this giant copper-colored metal sheet of layers, and that was the entire thing. Was the heatsink, and I was like, no.
So explain the heatsink, because I don't really I understand, but I don't.
Okay. So I have here a mug. Let's say it's piping hot.
We always have mugs.
Yes, we always have mugs. It's piping hot. It's got steam.
Okay.
You don't want steam to hit the electronics.
Yes.
You don't want heat to hit the electronics.
Yes.
So let's say this can is a heat sink. So
okay.
What it does is it absorbs the heat and disperses it elsewhere.
Okay.
So it doesn't...
say a vent off the side.
Kind of. It basically cools it just so that way it just disperses that heat to a theoretical level.
Okay, so the heat sink would be kind of like a radiator on a car.
Similar, yes.
Okay.
It tries to keep it in a sustainable level while also making sure that what needs to be cool stays cool.
So a giant heat sink on the PlayStation is telling us that for some reason the PlayStation's putting out
that much heat.
A large, insane amount of fucking heat.
I mean, that heatsink's gonna pretty much... I'm putting dollars that if you take everything away and just attach power to that heatsink, something tells me that thing can cool down an entire room.
It was pretty big.
It was...
While you're looking that up,
yeah.
Let's also talk about the absolute stupidness. I guess it's not really a word. How terrible it is when it comes to I want to turn my console on the side.
No, it's pretty funny.
So PlayStation, PlayStation and Xbox, we've seen both consoles standing. PlayStation talks about the fact that if you want the PlayStation 5 to lay down, you have to unscrew the base, re-screw it onto another part, and then lay the console down. And Xbox went, well, if you want the Series X to lay down, you just lay it down.
Just turn it sideways.
Just turn it sideways.
Boy, look at how big that thing is. Okay, so I'm showing a picture right now. The PS4 Pro is just the flat layer. This is what I'm used to seeing.
Big.
It's a quarter of it that just covers the processing area.
Okay. Which
is fine. This is fine. This is pretty good. Because if you look down at Code PC, his heatsink, about that big.
Okay.
It's attached to the liquid cooling. It's fine. But then you look at the PS5 heatsink. This back here is about the same size as this, and then you have everything that goes across the, I'm assuming the back. And I'm just like, that's pretty big. Let's see if we can
get... saying the original PlayStation 4 could heat his room in the winter.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I'll definitely feel my Xbox. I'm like, maybe you get a little warm. But I remember the PlayStation, because I don't have the original PlayStation 4. I get the Nathan Drake one. But I remember it being pretty fucking warm. Like, that thing would fucking heat that cabinet up.
Yeah,
quick.
all I'm finding is just the regulars.
Okay.
But
Well,
even still, like, if you look at the heatsink for... This is the Xbox Slim. Like, this is the heatsink for that.
yeah, it's not that
Like,
big.
it's not that big.
It's like the palm of my hand.
Yeah. Like, it's not that big, but, like, when you look at it... Like, this is the series... Like, the Xbox One X All Digital Edition. This is the
Yeah.
heatsink for that. Like, it's not that big. It's pretty fun and fair.
Although, I'm looking at a lot of these going, y'all need to fucking clean your consoles.
Yeah.
Get some dust.
Yeah. And then...
That's a clean console.
That's a clean console.
That's the 360?
That's the 360, but this one
The
is
360
the stand-up variant.
The 360 was known for having heating issues.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if this was probably laying down, it'd probably be better.
yeah, that was kind of the issue. Was it standing up? Your motherboard sat weird and would melt.
I'm trying to find the other image, but I guess
That's what caused the red ring, I do believe, if I remember correctly.
overheating. Yes.
Yeah.
But even still, like you look at the Xbox One S heat model, like the replacement for one of these, it's only $9. Like these heatsinks, not that expensive. They're easy to acquire and easy to install if you happen to want to be brave about it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a little rusted, but it looks fine. It looks manageable. I see no problem with this.
Getting a better look at these, they look like radiators.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I put mine in the freezer. I took a very, very damp towel and put it in the freezer for like 2 minutes, popped it back out, and it was working fine. But I'm like,
my original console had the red ring. The good thing is they warranted all that shit for years out.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone that didn't get theirs fixed was because they didn't contact Microsoft.
Yeah, and I'm not that's what pulled me away from Microsoft. But now Microsoft's like, we understand that there will be issues. We will fix these issues. We're sorry that these issues happened. We're going to express our gratitude by, hey, if you still support us, here's all this extra free stuff. Yeah. Like they acknowledge their mistakes. And now, even right now, they're doing above and beyond to make sure that we, the consumer, are happy. Yeah. That's why they were like, well, we just bought EA. Here's all the EA stuff for Game Pass.
They didn't buy EA.
Well, partnered with.
They bought ZeniMax. They partnered with EA, and now there's rumors they're buying Sega. I didn't want to confirm it because it's not confirmed, but there's talks that they're buying Sega.
Now, if they do that, that's actually going to be a real strong power move. I don't think we're going to get Sonic, but I was thinking more Yaku Yum Yums.
That's what Ginger's saying too, that he red ringed and got a new one. That's what I did. And then when the new ones came out, they didn't red ring anymore. And Goon's going nuts about Sega Yakuza Remix now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I want Yaku Yum Yums. Now, when I red ringed, not the first time, not the second time, not the third time, but the fourth time, I took it out back with a 10-ounce hammer and just started wailing on it.
You repeatedly red ringed and had sent it in?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that.
The first one I bought from GameStop, and I did an exact exchange. They were like, sorry.
Well, that's why, because you still got one that.
Well, this is the other thing. The second one ringed. I had contacted. This was when they opened up their policies. They sent me a brand spanking new one. They gave me a new Xbox. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay. I started playing it maybe 5 or some months later. Did it again. Sent it in. Got a refurbished model that looked so weird. It wasn't bad. It was just weird. That one ringed.
The one in my bedroom's the original red ringer. He still works to this day.
Yeah, no. That was what made me so angry and so bitter toward Microsoft. But
another question that I have for you though is, are you sure it was the same red ring every time? Because the rings did mean different things depending on what they did.
It looked the same to me.
Okay.
And it was just a frustrating bit.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I did not like the original Xbox. I fucking hated it so much that when we got the 360, I refused to play it for the first couple months I had it. Yeah. I was like, no, Xbox sucks. Yeah. And then I finally caved and I played it. Went, this is kind of cool.
And then I flung over, and here I am with my Xbox One X. Xbox One S, and I might bump up to the Series S because I am ready to go. I think Microsoft has won my vote as far as, because everything that I'm playing right now, I'll be able to play with quicker loading times. You already got me. And it's only $300. You got me again. Like, I got no problem with this console coming out.
Yeah, Ginger saying 4 different rings. There was 4 different parts that could light up, depending on which part was lighting up, depending on how the console was standing.
It was always...
was how it decided how it was doing it. But there was also the fact that it would chase.
No.
Was another thing.
Mine were solid or, like, light pulse. It was always the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd, never the first one, which was the OG red ring.
Yeah, the original red ring should have chased and then gone to the pulsing one.
Okay, no, I never saw it do the chase.
It would chase when you started it, and then it would settle on the one that was.
Yeah, that would be the thing.
But yeah, it was kind of their version. Like, with most things have some kind of there's something wrong warning.
Help.
They took the fact that there were so many lights on that power button to basically communicate with you what was wrong with it. And he's also saying I never heard of the red ring getting an actual fix. There was. It was an overheating issue. They did fix it. You just had to,
with the Elite.
Well, the Elite, but then what I experienced, what you sadly didn't, was that when you sent it in, they did fix the innards that were causing the overheating. They replaced the motherboard. I do know of a really sad story, though. There was a guy that took his 360 to a convention and had a Halo artist draw Master Chief on it and sign it and everything. And his console red ringed, and he sent it in. And when he got it back, they cleaned his console. And so it was gone. Luckily, someone at Halo or Microsoft heard about it and got him a shit ton of Halo stuff sent to him, signings from different people, plushes, games, just like this fucking mother load of Halo shit.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Whatever you want to hit next.
Well, this is actually yours.
Oh, right. Sandman comics, not Sandman Spider-Man, but Sandman from Neil Gaiman. And anyone that's wondering why they know Neil Gaiman's name, if you don't know him from Sandman, Good Omens, American Gods, and he's got his hands on a few other things. But famous writer, famous comic book guy. So wrote Sandman.
Very interesting art.
Very interesting art, yes. This summer, Audible did a really interesting thing where they did a full cast, a sound design adaptation of the a first section of Sandman. They've done this with other stuff like Hitchhiker's Guide and things like that. But they did this with a full cast. McAvoy was part of it. Kat Dennings was part of it. I do believe Kevin Smith did like an intro for it.
Okay. They grab people.
Yeah, this was big. And they recently in an interview they asked a bunch of the different actors like what their favorite chapters were and stuff like that, and then they asked Gaiman what his favorite part of this whole experience was, and this is where the news story really takes off for me. He has expressed that the fact that he could bring his comic to, how did he word it? Let me double check his wording on this. I want to make sure I get his wording on this right. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have the exact wording. Comics impaired. There we go. He liked that his comics were available to who the comics impaired people. So people that have sight issues, whether you're blind or whatnot, being able to actually listen and fully experience the comic book in full fashion because of the sounds, because of the acting, all of that. And he's basically come out and said, Audible has not confirmed this, but he's come out and said that it is his goal now to do comics impaired versions for the entire Sandman universe.
Right on.
He wants anyone that wasn't able to experience these or hasn't been able to experience these for a long time because of an accident or something to finally be able to experience the full run of Sandman.
Right on. I appreciate that.
This has kind of hit me the same way that when they did the visually impaired audio audio descriptive version of Daredevil when it came out. That was the first thing Netflix had done that with, where it was like it's going to describe the show and what's going on for the people that can't see the show. And then Netflix kind of ran with it from there, and it's on a lot of their stuff now. So this was a kind of a big thing. But Gaiman's a great guy too, so the fact that he's doing this does not surprise me at all. I fully intend to get this version, and I will give a review of it when I finally do.
Right on. And then the last one that we have up and about. This is going to Amazon Prime Video. It is Invincible by Robert Kirkman.
Yeah. It's Kirkman's other project. He's got plenty of projects, but this is from the guy that created Walking Dead. This is going to be animated, which I think this works fine animated. It's a really good comic run. It's one he actually is ending or has ended. I think he might officially ended it. Seth Rogen's connected to it. Jillian Jacobs is connected to it. They've got all kinds of people. Mark Hamill. I'm excited for this. It's a really interesting story. You said you didn't want spoilers, though.
I do not want any spoilers.
So
this, I am.
I can't really. I mean, you find out within the first couple pages of the comic what's going on, but I can't really give much away. Just understand it's a world where superheroes are a thing, and the kid's dad's a superhero, and he finally starts showing powers, and he comes up with the name Invincible. And so it's kind of the site of being a teenage superhero, dealing with a superhero dad, but there's a twist on it, and so I have to leave it at that.
There's the beast.
I do have one more news story that we didn't pull up any photos for, but AMD revealed their new Zen 3 Ryzen 5000 processor, which they're saying the world's best gaming CPU.
Now, give me that price tag.
It is a whopping, $299.
Now, wait a minute. Did you just say $299
well,
for
that's where it starts.
That's where it starts. But I did a quick glance at the specs. I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at those specs.
It's bringing gaming to a level that's closer to affordable.
And I love it. I mean, if you can buy one of those Ryzen 5s for $300, I mean, it'll play most things. Let's say it won't stream, but it probably will. But let's say it doesn't stream. For $300, you buy a AMD Ryzen graphics card as well. Another 400. Mm-hmm. Motherboards, another 100. Mm-hmm. Under $1,000, you can build yourself a really nice PC.
And this will become available November 5th. So probably just in time for them to sell it at regular price a couple times before dropping that for the holidays.
And that's even better.
That's just me speculating. Nothing's confirmed that they're gonna drop the price.
Power supplies are cheap. $60. Power supply, graphic card, internal memory, external memory if you want, sound card if you want to be that audiophile like me. Like you've got minimums to build the maximums.
And I'm gonna check on one last thing here. If you want to pander for a second, while
I will definitely pander for a second. Remember to follow us on Instagram, on our private Twitters, and also on our collaborative Twitter. Remember to follow us on Twitch, because Twitch is where we're talking to our chat if you want to be a part of that chat. Remember to follow our sponsors right behind Quincey with Geek Grind and Humble Partner. Hey, thanks Goon for the gift sub. Just, help us in any way, shape, or form. We do definitely appreciate it.
Okay, so sadly, what I was looking up, I was only kind of right. Invincible is currently, if anyone wants to get a jump start on that before the show comes out, it's currently available on Kindle Unlimited, and it's available on Comixology Unlimited. Ooh. I was hoping that it was available through Amazon Prime, but it's not. Where I read it was on Comixology Unlimited, though.
Copy.
So
okay. I mean, even still, this was a pretty good one. I like this one.
Yeah. All right, thanks guys, and always press on.
Always press on. My coffee puns are here, always fresh and steaming.
That's a good one.
That's a pretty good one. Today's gonna be a good day. I know.
You gonna press the stop button?
No, I'm not gonna hit the stop button.
All right, guys.
Have a good night.